Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome to StartupJobIn's Masterclass JobX Series, where we bring masters from different fields to share their insights with you. I am Kavita Joshi, Public Relation Manager at StartupJob.in. StartupJob.in is a dedicated job portal for startups. We are trying to automate the entire recruitment life cycle for the startups. Our company started in September 2019. Our website's beta version was released on 1st May, and today we have launched our website. The job postings are forever free on our startupjob.in. We will be soon adding more exciting features to make life simpler for employers and candidates. Just stay tuned. Masterclass Series is a weekly learning platform to provide specific tips to recruiters, startup founders, and job seekers. JobX is about sharing the important insights from employers and candidates. Today, we are going to discuss on the emerging skills to adopt for students in post-COVID world. As the whole world is facing the pandemic, what are the best measures which can be taken right now by the employers and also by the employees to work better, to be efficient? What all is expected now from an employee? How we can face interviews? What can be added to our resumes so that we able to find better jobs after the pandemic? To answer all these questions, today we have with us Mr. Vishal Bansal, a talent acquisition lead at HP Incorporate. Mr. Vishal Bansal has an experience of 15 plus years in talent acquisition in IT industry. He is proficient in business aligned hiring strategies, managing and institutionalizing regional recruitment delivery models. He has worked with some of the eminent IT companies like Dell, and he is currently associated with HP Incorporate today. Let's start the discussion about the very interesting topic of emerging skills to adapt for students in post-COVID world.
Kavita, thank you so much. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Great. All right. So you know like what the situation we're going through from us a few months. Especially the way our life as a socio-economic life has changed completely. The way we look at our work, the way we look at our interaction to other colleagues, it has completely changed. Same way, the economic activities also is going to be changed throughout, or as you're seeing, there are many markets, many segments which has gone dramatically, has gone very down. And people are talking about various ways how we would see in coming months how we will recover. There are people who are saying it would be V-shaped, there are people who are saying it would be W-shape, or varieties of concepts are there, like how the economy is going to recover. But having said it, especially in this scenario, how or like what are the key trends what we are seeing? Food would be emerging as a winner, or maybe like which we see are going to be there for a longer term. We have been reviewing these trends very closely, and we feel from our side there are certain concepts, certain domains which will be clearly emerging out of it. One of them, which we feel is digital part. From last few months, we are at our home, and all the communication which we are having with the external world, all consumption which we are having is happening through digital world only. Especially from student community wise also now, because their entire learning part, their interaction with their college, their colleagues, and the way they have been consuming all education has completely changed. We feel digital is going to play a very important part in coming months as well as the years. How they are perceiving as a higher education as a product, and the college, which the entity which is basically a provider in that sense, the relationship between these student as well as college is going to be changed, and most communication part or interaction part, it will shift to a digital. What we see, especially in these scenario, students will also will evaluate the options, and see college not only a particular entity which is providing end-to-end solution, end-to-end input to these students, but we feel that students themselves will be the decision authority in the post-COVID world. What information, what kind of education they are gonna take it, how they are becoming industry related, how they are becoming industry relevant, is going to be dependent end to end on students' perspective. We all are hearing about these education technology company emerging. A lot of hiring they are doing, a lot of investment happening in those organizations also. We feel that like they will take foothold in the coming months as well as the years, and students will see them as a supplement of the mainstream education what they're having. From industry part also, what we see, or as a corporate also, what we see, like those students who are investing themselves continuously, and they are making themselves relevant to the organization or or the corporate world, probably would be the complete winner. And in case whenever I'll be going to hire students from those colleges where we typically go, I think I would be looking out for those who have done different, or who have put certain effort in making themselves different, and relevant to the industry as well as for my need. So that's what I think. Like this COVID and digital is going to be very important in this area. That's my take on this this student part.
Vishal, we would love to know more about that in terms of large organization and MNC like your employer, I mean current employer. What kind of specific skills the companies are looking for, and maybe in next 1 to 3 years? What are the future trends which are likely to take place, and a student should be prepared for that?
Yeah. So skill wise, as I said, if if um, if you look at those trends or those companies which are emerging or the clear winner, at this duration as well as after COVID, are primarily based on digital. These would include e-commerce like Amazon. These would include like companies like Netflix, Amazon Prime and all, from where we are primarily taking our digital entertainment, or like or those organizations or individuals which are heavily investing in skill sets which can be provided on need basis. So that's primarily what I'm looking at, the future of post COVID world. If you look at IT information or information technology world, also what I feel, those skill sets or domain which provide services which enables our interaction with external world, remote services or cloud or IT infrastructure support, or like you can talk about cyber security, digital marketing, data, which is very emerging in a coming up a very big time. Um, so which will typically enable organization in not only connecting people who all are still at home, or maybe later part also, but which will provide those skill set, which will provide infrastructure or environment which will enable interaction very well, secure way, as well as give companies or organization a complete picture, who all are the consumers, what are their trends, and how better they can invest. So skill set wise, IT industry wise, that these are the skill sets which everyone is talking about. That like a lot of investment, a lot of opportunities will happen in these skill sets. Just to summarize again, this primarily includes data, cloud, security, IT infrastructure support, data analytics, science, business analytics around. These are the typical skill sets which I feel will be in hugely in demand after we settle down post COVID. If you talk about like personality perspective, like on how individual need to adapt to these situations, I think those associates who are primarily looking forward to their future, or who are continuously changing themselves, investing themselves, someone who is adaptive to the changing scenario, and also like who are digital literate. I think these students or these associates would be more in demand. Again, connecting with those skill sets, what I just spoke about. Does this answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Hi, Vishal. I would like to ask that you talked about that whenever you hire somebody, you look for some, different in them, something different in them, or what difference they can add to your company or your organization. So, what exactly that different thing is, which you look for in a student or in your employees whenever you hire them, and how that difference will be, will has changed today. Okay, fine. You used to look for a difference before the pandemic, and now how this different thing has changed. Now, what will you look in the students, or what the companies will be looking in the students?
Yeah. So if you look at my organization also, or the environment where we work in, it's not that it's not kind of structured. Like it has a lot of uncertainty, and we are into the business which is continuously evolving, as well as we are investing a lot into R&D, and we are making ourselves relevant to the future needs of our end user. Whether you're talking about immersive technology, 3D printing, as well as IoTs, as well as machine learning areas. Now, given this environment where we don't have any specific guidelines like how things will evolve in future, we need those individuals who are not only expert of their field, but are future looking. Someone who is investing in themselves, as I said earlier, someone who can think beyond the horizon, someone who has zeal to invest and learn continuously. Now, if you look closely from last 6 to 9 months, what we have gone through, there is no certainty. We can't say like what's going to happen, like what are the trends or patterns which are taking shape. Now in this scenario, if I have to hire someone, I would be definitely looking to hire those guys, those students who can give me proof that they have continuously learned throughout their learning duration in the college, or the courses what they have done, and they have not relied on a given pattern, or like the same kind of um, same kind of pattern or education which everyone is running at. So because majority of our environment relies on inventive mindset, someone who can think and can not only can conceptualize, but also has the ability to end to end provide solutions. So to hire such visionary, I can't rely on the fixed mindset or fixed thought process. That's my intention to say when I said like, okay, we would be hiring different people. And I think it is fairly to say that most of the organizations which are in innovative product solutions, as well as those where we are investing a lot in future looking growth, they also have a similar kind of mindset. Yeah, that's my take.
Thank you. My next question would be that what kind of hiring pattern we are expecting in next 24 months? What change would we can see in hiring patterns?
All right. Okay, so I can't comment on behalf of the entire industry what we have because it is divided at multiple level as well as the groups. But as I said, there are certain segments which we are seeing would be the clear growth, which will be showing a kind of complete growth, and we will be seeing a lot of investment happening in that. By virtue of we would see a lot of investment, probably these are the groups or sections which will provide a lot of opportunities. As I said, like digital is a clear winner. Like how we are working at home, how we are talking to each other, the platforms which are facilitating, how secure it can be, the information which we are getting out of it, how better we can save in our cloud, and also how we are using this data to take a decision. I think that's gonna take a lot of areas in the future employment. But having said it, if you take out the IT industry out of it, I think another aspect which is closely running behind is health industry. We are more informed, we are more vigilant and aware about our health needs now. And you're seeing like people are collaborating with each other. Like we have seen many organizations, many government have launched multiple applications so that they can communicate with the citizens, and also how better they can collect the data on their health. So I think that part is going to be a close winner with digital. And we all are waiting for like this COVID vaccine to come. Once this happen, probably we will be moving forward into the next stage of how we get into this distribution mode as well as production as well. The third part is this e-commerce industry, the biggest employer in today's scenario. How we can facilitate that not only through their supply chain, the digital part of how they reach to their consumers, and the distribution also. I think these parts within e-commerce segment are going to be again another chunk which will give a lot of employments, and they are giving right now also, and it's they have been the major employer for last 6 months as well. So these three areas which I feel are going to give a lot of employment opportunities to country like India. There are few others also, like if you see how we are taking it in our homes also, the consumption pattern has changed. Everyone is trying to save cash, conserve cash, and investing in only those needs which are closely gonna give us more comfort for next 6 to 9 months. You can see like majority of big ticket expenses, immovable assets, or like those expenses which we're doing in mall or any other related travel and tourism kind of has been pushed back. We're not doing it, and instead we are buying more on FMCG as well as in another aspects of how comfortable we can be at our home. Like for an example, a small example like buying chair or buying printer, or like similar kind of expenses. Probably we would be seeing like a lot of investment which will happen there as well. So in the same similar kind of industry, we would be seeing a lot of opportunities and investment, FMCG kind of, which we will see a lot of opportunities will come up there as well. By virtue of all these four to five, I think the another concept, the ground level concept, which is running parallel is go local. It's not with only with India. If you look at other organizations, other countries also, each country is trying to bring out their own industry, local industries forward, take up more responsibilities, take up more new business, and by virtue of this, we see like a lot of new patterns, new industries, especially from which we have been importing so far, probably will come and establish, or like at least domestic industry will come forward and will start investing into these products as well. So that's my take, like what employment perspective 12 to 24 months looks like.
Okay, moving on, how a fresher can get into a large MNC after missing a campus placement opportunity? Is there any hope for him or her to take an entry into a good MNC multinational company?
Yes, so like from COVID perspective, it's not that like it has hit only India or only one organization. We all are in the same party. So the 2020 batch, whether you talk about like college or industries, companies, we all are aware like what's happening. So even if you have missed, or if there's a delay in offer, or your offer dates have been delayed by the organization, you're not getting any enough opportunities. Nothing to worry about, because everyone is aware. Whenever you will give interview, or whenever we reach out to the future employer, once this COVID thing settled down, people would give weightage to it. Yes, we were there like when it was happening. We can't blame someone who is finishing their education in 2020. These all are external. So I would say like if there is a delay in getting employment and you have already finished your education, try to invest in the most important brand, which is you yourself. Try to get a parallel skill sets. Try to be more digital literate. Someone, if you're looking for a particular industry, try to look at like how this industry is adapting to the newer world, and that will also give you more information about like how new things are emerging around you and this industry specifically. Now, about from student perspective, again, like whenever you will give interview, or when you are talking to your future employer, I think one important factor, as I said earlier, everyone would be looking at like how adaptive and how agile this person is. By using those previous old methods, if you're using the same thing, and if you're not showing proof, or you're not dropping any hints that you are ready to take up new things, you're ready to change the course also of your learning, as well as your way of thinking, probably it will show some signs to your employer that like probably you may be a burden for the in the future also, because you have failed to invest in yourself. So these two things I feel are very, very important, and a big signal to your future employer whenever you would be giving interviews. Another part is COVID has brought a lot of changes in how we evaluate students. There is a wider reach now. It's not that, like, for an example, for a Bangalore-based employer, you need to be in Bangalore anymore. And like you can give interviews while being at your home as well, because there are multiple platforms which organizations are using, and they are evaluating also. And probably you need to continue evolving your way of understanding like how these function work, and what are the key areas where you need to highlight while giving a virtual interview. So to give you an example, in our teams also, in our teams of recruiters also, we are giving a lot of trainings, um, how to figure out like, okay, who all are the best performer in these virtual interviews, and basically how to pick signs, and how to ask questions, and basically bring out the similar kind of evaluation on virtual platforms. It's a different world altogether now. If you are giving interviews and interaction, having interaction in the virtual world for employment, so you need to be digital ready for it. And how do you do that? Probably read a lot, understand like how employer has been acting up. And another aspect is a very, very important aspect. What we look forward is if you are able to see the big picture. Uh, For an example, if you're giving interview in a IT services organization, I worked in few, and I know, like, when we used to go and evaluate students from engineering or management colleges, we would check, like, okay, what your thought process has been. Yes, you are studying here, you are giving interview there, but why? If you are here, what is your long term approach? As well as, if you are giving interviews, do you know about the organization, how it is making money? How it is making money, why we would be needing you, why we are hiring you. So try to visualize a large picture. That will give you a lot of answers. And I think if you are with this information and with digital literacy, if you're going to a future employer, I think that's a game changer, and that will keep you separate from the other lot. Yeah, that's my take.
Moving to our next question, gig economy is on the cards today. Would it be applicable at fresher level as well?
Yes, why not? So a lot of people are talking about gig economy, and in certain scenario, it's going to be the future, especially where the revenue streams are not fixed like they have been earlier. Um, so now, when the employer, if you look from the employer perspective, if you are not having a clarity, like there, how much you would be earning, or especially like what's the clear picture about it, from in a certain duration, then it's very, very highly important for you that, like, your expenses remain in control and aligned to your revenue part. You can't have a fixed nature of your expenses running very high, and in certain months or duration your revenue is coming below than that. So gig economy in that way is very, very useful. You try, okay, you don't have to give, or you don't have to spend amount in getting a services from your employees, um, and you don't have to spend when you don't need those services at all. So it's basically a win-win for both employee and employer. Employer, yes, because of the cost perspective. Employee, because they can work at multiple projects as well as domains in the same time. So experience perspective and learning perspective from employee side, it's good, because they have come out of a very specific environment where they have been earlier working on a single train of thoughts. Um, and given from last 5 to 6 months, what we are seeing, um, that, like, there are a lot of uncertainty around, and the main agenda for employers, for them, it's a question of survival. Everyone is trying to see how better they can pass this duration, with the maximum resources in hand. With that thought, I think gig economy is going to be the base, especially from those employers where the business is not giving certainty to them. Does this answer your question?
Yes, definitely does. Uh, I would be asking you the last question now. What kind of new employer branding strategies nowadays companies are adopting?
Yes. If I give you my example of our own organization, since this pandemic has hit us, we have decided that, okay, our own branding as well as services, we need to take a bit closer. You know, so like, now when you are using your smartphone or your personal system or your TV, all the time, most of the time, like, because you're at home. So digital branding marketing is very, very important in that stage, and getting a foothold and a lot of information which is being bombarded on you by multiple employers. How you choose your target audience in that. So if, for example, if I am someone who is in need of a laptop, or say like in need of a better Wi-Fi, or any other similar kind of aspect, so and and uh, and choosing me as a right target audience, and not going to someone who is like who has an altogether different need. Investing in these methods, singling out me and sharing information with me is going to the mainstay of digital branding. How this will happen? It will happen primarily through analyzing a lot of data. Um Data in both, like what is my consumer pattern, how I'm consuming a lot of information, as well as demographic perspective. Uh, Especially in these scenarios, it's not that like these things have not been there earlier also, but we feel like there would be a lot of multiple investment we should be seeing in these tactics, like how employers are singling out their target audiences, and how do we create a customized approach, so that the ROIs are more like. And and um, and alongside that, we are also seeing a lot of patterns emerging, which how consumer, or like a normal citizen look at a industry, corporate, or maybe employer as it is. So you must be aware about like what's happening in US about these racial and discussions, and like how employees are getting impacted also. Same thing happening in India as well, like how people are looking at the corporate or the industries. You have seen many examples where they pivoted, organization pivoted their business models to serve healthcare needs. Many organizations have started making sanitizers, or like health equipments in support of these times. Though it serves the purpose of help, being helpful, but it also shows like that like these employers and industries are being shown in the right view, or like a correct amount of light as well, so that people remain favorable to them as well, and they are aligned with the mainstay thought process. So whether you accept it or not, it's another part of marketing, or showing your organization in a right way. So I think analyzing like who all are your consumer, how better you can give a customized approach to showcasing yourself as a right organization, which is aligned with the basic needs, and the right way of approach, or right way of conduct, is going to be the mainstay in future. Yeah, that's my take on it.
With this, I would like to end the session, and it was great to have you here today, Vishal.
Okay.
We thoroughly enjoyed the session, and I definitely hope that all your answers and this session would prove really helpful to the students and also to the people who are about to embark on their journeys. I thank you on behalf of the Startup Job team for being with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a real pleasure, and I hope to talk to you soon again.
It was an honor, sir.
Thanks a lot, Vishal, for coming.
Thank you, Bashankar. Talk to you soon. Be safe. Bye.